Welcome back, everyone. And for those new to the channel, my name is Paolo Paulino. I'm your friendly neighborhood IPSC Grandmaster. And I've been making a few videos, hopefully to help those getting into the sport. When I say that, I mean like tips and tricks to get them started and help them, traverse the path to joining matches and enjoying the sport. And another question I do get asked is, how do I prepare for a match? Now, I guess it depends on what kind of match you're talking about. Because, like, if I'm shooting like my weekly level 1s and 2s, I don't really do too much preparation because I treat those as my practice sessions too. But if I am preparing for something like a qualifying match or a level 3 and up, that's when I sort of like get into a routine of some sort. It does vary. It's not like it's a rigid regimen that I follow, but generally, practice-wise, I will be increasing my practice sessions as I get closer to the match. Like, for example, if I was like a month away from the match, I'd start out like probably one live fire session a week, and then I'd dry fire twice a week, three to two times a week, and then I'd also shoot a level 1 or 2 at the weekend. But as we get closer to the match, I will ramp up the live fire sessions and the dry fire sessions. So it would be like two live sessions at the range and dry fire 3 times in between, and then I'd shoot matches. I'd still shoot matches on the weekend. That's how I would progress. And when I practice, I try to focus on what I think I'm not comfortable with, or as comfortable or as happy with in terms of my performance. So, for example, if like the match that I shot the last week, if I felt like my reloads were a bit off, then that's what I'll spend time fixing. If I had hard times with like awkward leans or swingers, then that's hopefully what I would work on during my practice in my dry fire. And what I do in dry fire, I would also test out in live fire. So you would see if you needed more work on it, or if you were progressing, because you would be able to tell. So you sort of like you train yourself to do it in dry fire. You teach yourself the techniques and the form and everything, and you get your body used to it. And then when you get to the range, you test it out and see how much more you need to tweak. Other things in terms of preparing for the match, people ask me like, do you sleep early? I try to sleep early as best I can. Of course, the more sleep you get, the better. But I'm not an early sleeper. I am a creature of the night. The earliest I usually sleep is like 1 a.m. That's early for me. Another question is, what do you eat? What do you drink? Well, again, if like we were a month away, I'd start eating a little less heavy stuff, a little less meat. I'd stick to the lighter stuff like chicken and fish. I'd stay away from high-fat stuff because they tend to make you feel sluggish. And it's not necessarily for weight loss, but rather just your general feeling. Like I don't want to feel heavy. So, especially a week before a main match, that's when I would like sort of control my intake so that by the time I get to match day, I'll feel as light as possible. And like I said, it doesn't even matter if I actually lost weight or not, but sometimes it's just the feeling you get, because high fat stuff tends to make you sluggish. So I tend to stay. I tend to stay away from heavy meats and high fat stuff, and I will go with the lighter food options, like especially fiber, like a lot of vegetables and some carbs. But drink wise, I don't really restrict much. We all love our alcohol. At least a day or two before the match, I do not drink any alcohol because I want to at least clear my system. Again, you don't want to feel sluggish. So you want to be hydrated, not hungover. I guess it's not good for anybody to be hungover. On match day, do I go? People ask, do I go early enough? And the answer is generally yeah. I am a very punctual person. I always like being early for anything, even if I go like meetings and especially for the range. So I will go at least 30 minutes to an hour earlier than I need to be. And the reason why I do that is because I don't want to feel rushed when I'm at the range. When I arrive to the match, I want to be relaxed and I want to be as calm as I can be. Because believe me, the match pressure will build up and it is enough to generally make you feel edgy. So I want to do everything I can to keep my anxiety low. So by being early, I don't have to rush my equipment check or my registration if I have to do that. Usually you can do that day ahead, and I will if I can. If not, then that's all right, because at least if I'm early, I don't, and let's say the line is long, I don't have to worry. I don't have to feel anxious. I just take my time, chat with a few friends, enjoy, take him, the energy of the match, because big matches have a different vibe to them compared to like level ones and twos. It just feels like different. And yeah, I enjoy that. I soak that up, and we see how it goes. Again, the bonus of being early is I have time to double check my equipment, which of course I already did, or you should do the night before. But just to check it again, I go to the Fowler, if there is a Fowler bay. Most big matches will have one. And I shoot a few rounds just to get, the early morning jitters. Or if you're shooting the afternoon, then early afternoon jitters. Yeah, fire a few rounds, warm up, check your draw, just reinforce your yourself that you got this. It's okay. Sometimes if I feel too edgy, I'll just like shoot like a lot of rounds. Like I'll just let loose like a bill drill or something just to get it out of my system. So at least I don't feel too tight or aggressive for my first stage. Well, I usually always want to at least warm up for a big match. Starting cold is not the most ideal, so you'd always want to do that. And so I have time to do all these and not be rushing, because the feeling of being rushed will carry over in your first stage if you are rushed the whole time from getting there and then starting your first stage. And you don't want to do that. Like I said, you want to be as relaxed as possible when you walk to the line. So generally, that's the routine that I usually do in the match. Most of it, I mean, like I said, I prepare before the match. So I practice and I dry fire and I live fire. But when I get to the range, it's more of not really preparing anymore for physical stuff, but rather it's controlling your mental side, controlling your well-being, your state of mind. It always goes back to the adrenaline rush will surge the closer you get to the first stage, or even when that beep goes off. It's like everything just goes up and skyrockets. Your emotions, your senses, and your state of mind. So usually I try everything I can during time at the range to control that. So I try to control my adrenaline, I try to control my mind as best I can. So it's not that I don't feel nervous when I'm at matches. Of course I do. I mean, if the match matters to you, then of course you want to perform well, and of course that'll make you feel nervous. So I do everything I can to control my emotions and my state of mind. And I want to be calm and focused. Another question people ask, like, what to wear? Like, beginners will be like, oh, what do I wear to the range? Do I do this? Do I wear that? And to be honest, it doesn't really matter too much what you wear. I guess as long as you can move freely. I mean, you can wear jeans if you like, as long as you can, bend, squat, and run comfortably in them, then nothing wrong with that. You can come in diapers if you like, and it'll still be fine as long as you can put your holster on it. Shoes, usually I prefer something with a more aggressive set of cleats or a bottom with aggressive treads to add more traction, because sometimes different ranges of different bits of soil or floorings, or different types of ground that you have to run on. And sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's grassy, sometimes it's muddy, rocky, dusty, sandy, all that. And so having a bit more aggressive of a tread and or cleats do help. I stay away from the metal cleats because the metal cleats will be good for soil and grass and stuff, but when you start running on rocks and harder surfaces, they will slip more. So it'll be more detrimental or less helpful than helpful. And besides that, I just stay hydrated, drink a lot of water, because you can tend to forget to drink some water, and that's important because it can affect your mental game as well without you knowing, physical and mental, more than you actually think you know. And pretty much that's that. And I try to enjoy the match and not think of what can go wrong. I just focus on what I have to do. I do it, and then hopefully nothing goes wrong and we win the match, or at least perform the best that we can perform. Because that's what matters at the end of the day. You have to enjoy it, shoot with your friends, have a laugh, but also stay focused. You don't want to just goof around. Unless that's what you want to do, then sure, why not? But for, those who want to improve their performance and stuff, then you have to stay focused. Like usually one or two shooters before the line, before my turn, I tend to not talk to other people as much as I can. And I start running the stage plan in my head. And after I shoot, then, you can relax again, have a laugh. And then next stage again, you just check if you're near, dial in your focus, and enjoy. So I hope this helps you. If it does, drop a like, subscribe. It's always appreciated. And don't forget to write in the comments if there is something that you want me to cover. All right, so enjoy, and hope to see you in the next video.